Let's go to Americans behind enemy lines. Obviously, you know, these guys are scary. Never mind the fact that they kind of look like an indie rock band, but for the M4s or the M16, I don't know. I don't know what that guy's rifle is. Is that a Krig? I don't know. Anyways, so but Americans stranded in Afghanistan as Biden plans another long weekend. That's the he has a long weekend dealing with Afghanistan. But let's see how many sippy cup references we have. It's now time for another episode of Sean Hannity Shits on America.
Crap behind enemy
hold on. I'm gonna turn this.
Pretty much, well, they're being held at the whim of the Taliban. Yes, a terrorist organization. On Sunday, the entire country of Afghanistan fell to the Taliban as Joe Biden gears up.
There's a lot of sniffing again. We're back to the sniffing. Hold on, I got to make this a little smaller so it fits on the screen here with the because there's a little bit of stuff around the edges. I know you're not going to want to miss. I mean, they spent a good $19 for their graphics, so we don't want to waste them.
At another long.
Oh, gun, terrible. Guns are terrible. Said no Fox viewer ever.
In Delaware. Wow. Only the.
Wow.
Hamid Karzai International Airport remains under U.S. control.
Yeah, where's Hamid Karzai right now? Oh.
Hour tonight, thousands of Americans and thousands of our allies hopelessly stranded.
Hopelessly? Hopelessly. Are they hopelessly stranded? Or is there a strategy playing out? So they're hopelessly stranded because what, John? Our military is ineffectual and shitty and we'll never try to get them out and nothing's working. And the French are getting their folks out. Where are they getting them out to, Sean? To the airport we've secured to get their people out on our airplanes. But hopelessly. Please turn up the volume. Yeah, his is kind of low. Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. We'll bring it up. Sorry.
All over the country.
Ooh, that's loud.
We said behind enemy lines. At this hour, the Biden administration, they still don't know exactly how many. Joe's estimating about 15,000.
No, they're estimating about 11,000. We've gotten out about 9,000, and we don't know because a lot of people aren't coming forward. There's not everybody there that's an American is embassy staff or military and plans on leaving. That's the watery area.
Don't know where they're located. They can't even tell us exactly how many have been evacuated, and worse.
Why would they?
Of all, they have zero plan to rescue any Americans, and according to the Wall Street,
zero plan to rescue any Americans. Hear that, military? That's what Sean Hannity thinks of you. Zero plan to rescue any Americans. Apparently, never leaves anybody behind. Has turned into fuck America. That is the plan. Jesus.
Journal. This is the.
According to Rupert Murdoch's paper, the return of America held hostage. Some 15,000 U.S. citizens and residents are behind Taliban lines. There's no easy way to get them out. That's a long way, Sean, from easy way to get them out versus no one's going to even bother to try.
Of America held hostage. Some 15,000 U.S. citizens.
Yeah, this is like Jimmy Carter all over again. If only the ghost of Reagan could come and free them all after negotiate. I guess how many guns will he have to promise to give to the Taliban before?
Residents are behind Taliban lines, and
Taliban lines. Just say enemy. It doesn't say.
No easy way to get them out. That's just a fact.
Well, yeah, it's fucking Afghanistan. You know what else? There's no easy way to get out of fucking Afghanistan. You fire plug. By the way, this is all very serious. The Afghan withdrawal, the people who are in danger. All my laughter is aimed at these assholes who, I guess, apparently believe they should be taken seriously on this topic. I refuse to. Fuck them. Full stop.
It to get that bad, and as we speak, there are other countries at least trying, and they're
At least trying. The Americans aren't even trying. You can see it. soldier pulling a baby up over barbed wire yesterday, and they pushed back and they went over the wall and pulled in 167 Americans yesterday. But not even then. I mean, is that really trying? I mean,
their citizens with their special forces. For example, the British...
Where are they getting those folks to once the special forces get them out, Sean? Where are they taking them? Where are they taking them? Who's going to actually get them out of the country? Sean?
Calling it...
We are.
Operation Pitting, but the...
Operation Pitting? What, was Operation Pimento already taken?
United States, as of now, has no such program. In a press conference, the Department of Defense told us that the U.S. military is under orders to protect the Karzai International Airport, and that is...
a lot of sniffing, Sean. Did you get a new dose of the... I mean... Is there a drug that makes you stupid and turns you orange? Because I think I know who your dealer is.
According to the State Department in a memo, quote, the United States government cannot ensure safe passage to the Hamid Karzai International Airport.
They did. The State Department did have an easier time saying it, though. And also, it's fucking Afghanistan. Do you think our soldiers, the entire time they were there, wore bulletproof vests because it made it cooler?
Suggesting people might think about going there, but we can't provide you safe passage there. So we're securing an airport that people will take great risks to get to. Only someone as stupid as Joe Biden could come up.
You do realize you were making points about helicopters leaving the embassy grounds with people in them, which you compared to Saigon, but also apparently seem to miss the idea that that seems to be a planned exercise to remove Americans in Kabul to the airport and not just go, guys, if you're not here by 3:30, we're going to have to, I don't know, we'll put you in with baggage.
The plan like that. Of course, now he's going on vacation again. According to reports, the Biden administration...
No, he's not going on vacation again. They're going back to Camp David. I actually am not sure they're even going back to Camp David. I think that's been scrapped. But it's not like Camp David is, I don't know, Mar-a-Lago.
They're looking for what they call non-military ways to move Americans to the airport past the Taliban. Okay, I'd like to know what that might be. What are the plans?
Well, if they tell you, you'll tell the Taliban because you like those guys. I mean, they're buddies of your buddy. The friend of my friend is my friend, right, Sean?
Look at your screen because this is what it looks like outside of the airport.
Were those, wait a minute. Hold on. Run that by me again, Sean. Were those balloons? Hold on. Wait a minute. There we go. Sorry, I was on the wrong computer. I just need to look at something real quick.
Plans. Look at your screen because this is what it looks like.
Cotton candy or balloons? What is it? I'm going with cotton candy. They're too bright to be shrimp chips. Look at your screen. This is the horror. Our assholes in the booth chose some footage with fucking cotton candy in it. Or balloons. Yeah, I don't know which. I don't know how to ask. It looks like candy in bags. It looks like snacks in bags. It's cotton candy. It's just whipped sugar with coloring. Yeah, that's my guess. Shit. Is Nugent playing the Taliban State Fair this year? I know they're big fans. Dude, I asked for an elephant ear. Not a real elephant ear. You put powdered... fuck it. Fucking... Sean, goddamn. If you're going to pick the world is burning, the hell is upon us, try to steer clear of giant sticks with cotton candy bags on them. Son of a bitch. How much footage do they have? You couldn't get that out? You couldn't? Look at this. That's like the guy in the blue outfit yesterday going, hey, yay! Hey, yay! As the plane is leaving, they're like, look at these desperate people.
Side of the airport, it is...
Is that a Christmas tree? Son of a bitch. if I found out that they've got both cotton
Look at your
candy,
screen, because this is what it looks like
cotton candy,
outside of the
and Christmas trees. I don't know what the fuck is going on. What changed, Taliban? When did you start liking Christmas and state fairs?
It is chaos. It is carnage.
Yes, I always prefer my carnage with cotton candy.
Fighters viciously beating, whipping, stabbing crowds.
Yeah, again, cut to the footage of people being beaten, whipped, or stabbed, if you indeed have it, not the people sort of orderly standing around in a giant group not being fired upon.
Seemingly doing it at random. Shots ring out constantly.
It's fucking Afghanistan!
Men are...
Yeah, wait a minute. Sean, your argument is there's a place in the world where shots ring out constantly and we should stay there.
On the back of pickup trucks. Even American journalists have come under attack. Take a look.
You can see that some of these
Yeah.
Taliban fighters, they're just...
Not because she's just randomly wandering around. She's doing a report. She's brave as fuck. If Sean Hannity tries to steal some of her valor from his fucking well-polished seat in New York,
hopped up on adrenaline, or I don't know what. It's a very dicey situation.
Suddenly, two other Taliban charge towards us. You can see their rifle butt raised to strike producer Brent Swales. When the fighters are told we have permission to report, they lower their weapons and let us pass.
Okay, Sean, this does not make your case for you. When the Taliban fighters were told that we had permission to film, they lowered their guns and let us pass. Did you hear that? I mean, understand the entire narrative that Sean Hannity is pushing right here, that there is no plan, the people behind enemy lines are hopeless. And yet, when somebody told these fighters that they were allowed to film, they went, oh, fuck it, okay, cool, all right, sorry to bother you. They lowered their guns and let us pass. Maybe that's why we currently don't have military brigades going through the streets to extract people, because we don't need them, and it would be unnecessarily provocative towards these large gatherings of incels posing as Taliban.
Okay, now we're going. Get in the car.
God help every American that's there now.
Yeah, God help them have someone who speaks Arabic to apparently go, we're allowed to go through here. Oh, okay, cool. All right, see you later.
You can see this is now beyond dangerous. Anyone making their
It's
way
Afghanistan.
to the airport, they are literally putting their life in the hands of the same vicious terrorists, that allowed the plotting and planning and scheming of 9/11 to...
You know what they also plotted and schemed and planned was the American exit with the former president. Sean. That's what they also plotted and schemed. They had a big meeting about it, actually. Trump actually broke one of them out of jail so they could be part of the meeting.
2001, but according to Joe Biden, it's all going according to plan. Knock on wood. Take a look at this.
Now, granted, it took 2 days to take control of the airport. We have control of the airport now.
Still a lot of pandemonium outside the airport.
Well, there is, but look, but no one's being killed right now. God forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but no one's being killed right now.
No one's being killed right now.
Yeah, they aren't. That's why we're trying to get the fuck out. I'm sorry, Sean. Would you be happier if people were dying? Would it give you better footage? Is this part of the problem? Isn't this really part of the problem for Sean and everybody? Is that they don't have the bloodshed video? Because that's the problem. There's a bunch of people leaving. There's a bunch of people making their way through. There's some harrowing moments. But at no point have we had any major shooting, and there's people firing guns in the air half the time because, yay, we took over, kapow, kapow. And somebody's walking over going, dude, easy. We don't have that many bullets.
Well, you're wrong about that. People are being killed and beaten and whipped and stabbed at checkpoints. We have reports Taliban fighters are blocking many from even getting through, and that yet
Who?
Americans are being told to attempt to get there, but they can't.
Yeah. Now, the assumption from that sentence, what are we supposed to take away from what Sean just said? That Americans are being beaten, stabbed, and turned away from checkpoints and aren't being able to cross. That's what that sentence is supposed to make you think. Right? Now, they're not, but other Afghans who may have been soldiers that fought or pushed against it, or there was a shuffling a crowd, or the Taliban checkpoint they were at was, a particularly gnarly one, and there was an outbreak of pushing, shoving, gunfight, whatever. That particular element, what you do is you conflate those two together, and then Sean can maybe just stir together some version of events where we should stay.
Protected. There's no guarantee of safety.
It's Afghanistan. Sean, did Sean go to Afghanistan? He may have. He may have gone. Let's see. Can I just see? Let's see. Let's grab this guy over here. We'll drag this over here. In Afghanistan. This is a possibility, right? Did he? Is there any footage of him? Did he ever go over there? No. No, that's funny, Sean. I don't see any Sean Hannity pictures. If anybody can find one, please send me pictures of Sean Hannity having gone to Afghanistan. Let's see. However, I don't have pictures of Sean Hannity in Afghanistan. I do have pictures of Rachel Maddow in Afghanistan. See, she's wearing a bulletproof vest right here. This right here, because she's press. And the reason she's wearing this is because even though she's on a forward operating base, even though she's inside this particular base at this time, even though she's surrounded by armed people all the time, at no point could they guarantee her safety. This was Camp Phoenix in Afghanistan. This is inside. There she is. There she is outside. Now, why is she wearing this? There's a bunch of American soldiers in this. Look at this helicopter right here. There's a lot of dirt around here. Why is she wearing all this stuff? I'll tell you why. Because no one can guarantee your safety in fucking Afghanistan. Notice, and by the way, any footage, please find, did he go? Did he go? Nothing on Google about Hannity going there. Nothing. A lefty lesbian went, apparently, but Sean Hannity, he was too busy being, I guess, client number 3 to Michael Cohen, whose only job as a lawyer seems to be paying off sexual harassment and abortion claims. Weird.
Flights are taking off half empty. Joe Biden doesn't.
U.S. Air Force C-17 evacuation flights leaving Kabul airport nearly half empty. Yeah, the top half, you know how they're like 18 feet tall? People can't stand on their shoulders, so.
Seem to realize the magnitude of what is going on and what led to this mess. And
I know what led to this mess. Trump pretending he was going to get us out and staying in for 4 years.
Oh, it could have been prevented. Take a look.
It could have been prevented. Yes, we could have never gone to Afghanistan, or the magic plan that Trump was going to use to get us out could have been implemented 3 fucking years ago.
What happens now in Afghanistan? Do you believe the Taliban have changed?
No. Let me put it this way. I think they're going through sort of an existential crisis about, do they want to be recognized by the international community as being a legitimate government? I'm not sure they do. But look, I'm not sure I would have...
Why'd you cut off the rest of that, Sean? We got more of that wonderful Sean Hannity editing. Cut off context, And this is why, by the way, I do long form clips and interviews. Like when they do a full version of something, I do the whole thing. When we do it, when Sean Hannity and Fox News put up a clip of Sean Hannity's show, we do the whole thing. Now, why do we do that? So that I can never be accused of putting words in Sean Hannity's mouth or being anywhere near it, or cutting him off or chopping something out so that it makes him look like more of an asshole, if that's possible at all, and I doubt it.
Think to George, nor would you or anyone else, that when we decided to leave, that they'd provide safe passage for Americans to get out.
Existential crisis, safe passage from terrorists.
Dude, you just showed a female reporter from CNN getting safe passage. Some assholes came up, got violent. Somebody said they're allowed to be here, and they let them stay. They let them continue to report and pass through. That's exactly what fucking happened.
Okay, when you saw that the Taliban took over 10% of the country, 20% of the country, 30% of the country, 40% of the country.
Why didn't you send in 100,000 troops so we could stay there for another 25 years? Right, Sean?
Why was there no urgency then?
There was. It started to speed up. And as it got worse, the more we retracted, the more they moved in because the Afghan forces and the government... You're an idiot. Why am I explaining this? Look who I'm talking to, Mr. SATs.
Does this, look safe to you, Joe Biden?
Yeah, it looks fairly safe, actually, right there. It's a weird thing. Again, odd choice of footage. Can we go back to the dude with cotton candy?
You make your way back to Delaware. Would you want one of your loved ones outside of that airport, behind enemy lines, getting pistol whipped, getting beaten, getting shot, or just in fear of all the above?
Sean, would you like anyone who's in fear for their life currently in Afghanistan to be allowed to come and stay with you? I think that's the real question.
Screen. These are Afghan families literally passing their babies over a wall covered with razor wire, begging the British to take their children because they know that their children...
The British? The British? What? I'm sorry, Sean, I can't tell from your accent. What country are you from again?
Will be murdered by the Taliban if they don't get inside of that airport. Think how desperate a mother or father would have to be to do such a thing, but they do it because that's all they think they can do to save their kids.
Really? Geez, it's almost like you're talking about the southern fucking border. Imagine being a mother or father who sends your infant child out into the desert on the southern border of America, hoping they are picked up by the Americans and they don't just die in the fucking desert. Imagine being that desperate. And imagine being that dumb to not recognize this direct parallel.
Because they know how the...
Imagine a parent being so desperate that they build a $5 ladder to climb over a slat fence.
The Taliban is all about and how they treat people. Now, there's...
You mean like Mexican cartels, for example? Seriously, how fucking dumb? How dumb is this asshole? I mean, it's not like we could capture this and play it back to him and go, dude, how do you say that and not say that about the southern border? How do you not recognize the obvious parallels? Like, he's too thick to know he's being this big of an asshole. Seriously.
Safe passage, not for the Afghan people.
Not for the Guatemalans, not for the Hondurans, not for the women and children from Mexico who are... What? I'm sorry, I missed the part where you gave a shit. I must have scrubbed past that.
Not for Americans, not for the allies, not for the interpreters that we promised we'd protect, and now we're witnessing what is...
I'm sorry, what was the plan to get the interpreters out by May 1st, Sean? And by the way, this attack, from the Taliban, started May 2nd, effectively. It genuinely started May 2nd. Even in spite of the fact that we pushed the deadline a little bit. Last year, they planned May 2nd we go. And it's super obvious. The timeline from May 2nd, there's a quickening that takes a couple of months, mostly through the middle of June is when it really starts to get a force accelerator. They start taking certain places, widen it out, and then they start moving north, and then they start surrounding places, and then they start pulling in. The strategic planning for this attack was planned last year to start May 2nd. Why is May 1st a significant date, Sean? I'm sure you read something about it.
The biggest hostage situations in the history of the U.S. and the biggest...
Weird. You mean kind of like if China attacked us with COVID on purpose, Donald Trump oversaw the largest amount of deaths by a bioweapon in Earth's history?
Military debacle in the history of the U.S., and you have a president so checked out that he's spending most of his spare hours on vacation with no plan except that, well, the Taliban has said that they're going to allow safe passage to the airport when we know that's not happening, considering...
Yeah, it is happening. Not only is it happening, female reporters from CNN are walking the streets, doing interviews, doing live video.
Have multiple checkpoints. They have surrounded the entire perimeter of the airport and no...
Seriously, at what point, Taliban, at what point are you going to hire this guy? I mean, this is the greatest audition I've ever seen. If you want a Taliban spokesperson, honestly, you get this guy in a turban, what more do you need? You know what I mean? And the best thing about it is, obviously, he has a tendency to knock his head on hard surfaces, considering his thought processes. So having that extra padding around his head would be really useful. Maybe you could just get him to wear a bike helmet as well.
Is getting through.
Seriously, Sean Hannity is auditioning to become the spokesperson for the Taliban at this point.
Unless they get Taliban permission, and even worse, so many innocent souls are already dead. But according to Biden, this is really much ado about nothing, apparently. Take a look.
We've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
Well, you don't think this could have been handled? This actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens.
Well, you could have done it before they made their march to Kabul.
Oh, yeah? There you go, Sean. Finally offering a piece of advice. So you could have gotten all the people out, shut down our embassy and left, which really would have shored up the Afghan government and the forces that would have pushed back against them. You could have just shut down the embassy and got everybody out when they'd only taken 10% of the country, so that as a big signal to the Taliban that we have no faith in these assholes. Move faster. You know what I mean? I think you guys are dragging ass. We're getting the fuck out. Get up here as soon as you can.
Didn't have to give them Bagram Air Force Base either.
We didn't give them Bagram Air Force Base. We took Bagram Air Force Base, and then we gave it to the Afghans, and then the Afghans didn't use it. We didn't give it to anybody.
Have acted earlier. It didn't have to go chaotically. It could have gone very smoothly.
It really? It could have gone very smoothly? Then why didn't it last year, Sean? Or the year before that? Or the year before that? What was different? Sean, what was different in Afghanistan last year this time? Or the year before that? As a matter of fact, COVID would have been the perfect reason to finally get those final forces out of Afghanistan. We could have literally said, it's too dangerous, we can't have our embassy personnel there, we're recalling all of our embassy personnel, we're recalling all of our military people, because it's just too dangerous. Oops, oh sorry, there's I beg your pardon? There's an echo. Thanks. Right?
Could have been employed. We could have had a plan to extract, identify every American and get them out weeks before.
And where in that, by the way, they were doing that weeks before, but besides that fact, what part of that doesn't also inform their neighbors or members of the Taliban who had already been working with the Afghan government? Because we also knew that they were getting information. That's why we stopped giving them intel.
Biden said that a Taliban takeover, well, was not inevitable. Joe was just telling that.
Well, yeah, because if the U.S. president came in before they'd done it and said, yeah, this is inevitable. I mean, the Taliban are going to fuck this place up. How long do you think it would have taken them then? You think there would have been a bigger rush to get the fuck out?
A couple of weeks ago, he was reassuring the American people that the Afghan army, one of the most capable, well-trained armies in the world, and that they even had an air force, and that there are only 75,000 Taliban.
Uh-huh. And cotton candy. Don't forget cotton candy. 74,000 Taliban, obviously winning some hearts and minds. This is clearly gunfire, but to mitigate that, they've also got cotton candy. Again, with the cotton candy footage, we're cycling back through this, asshole? Really, Sean?
The Taliban makes their march, and every step of the way, Joe apparently didn't notice. He said there'd be no
He didn't notice?
chaotic scenes at the U.S. Embassy in Kabul with helicopters, scenes similar to the fall of Saigon
Yeah, that's not from the actual embassy, by the way.
in 75.
Yeah, show us that footage. Sean, show the footage show the chaotic exit at the embassy. Show that.
We have those
Show
scenes.
that. Yeah.
And then he pulled American soldiers out in the middle of the night. He abandoned Bagram Air Base. He dismantled Trump's contingency in crisis.
His continuancy? He filed for a continuancy.
Abandoned Bagram Air Base.
Uh-huh.
He dismantled Trump's contingency in crisis.
Yeah, it was Your Honor, my client and I would like to file for a continuancy. We do not have the necessary papers for the Afghan removal. My client is expecting a package in the mail any day now.
Response Bureau.
Biden admin moved to dismantle protections for citizens trapped overseas months before Kabul's fall memo.
Back in June, he dismantled that.
June? Wait. Isn't June after May 1st? I don't know. I think my calendar's broken.
Set up by President Trump and Secretary of State Pompeo to
Sorry. Set up by who?
provide aviation, logistics, medical support to Americans if they get trapped abroad. Why would you
If they get trapped abroad?
gotten rid of that program?
Well, we didn't. That's why you were showing helicopters.
And Joe stood by and did nothing as the Taliban made all of these rapid advances.
Well, obviously, they did something. They shut down Bagram Air Force Base and got the fuck out. We destroyed all of the useful equipment that we couldn't take with us. We removed all our military personnel. We evacuated citizens. We're not going to stay there, so why would we?
All over the country in the past 2 months. They acted like it wasn't happening. In
Did they? Because I mean, I like this. I like the graphic, Sean. This is a good choice. I'm for it. Look at what is this? The FDD's Long War Journal, Fox Dumbass Delivery System. I don't know what that stands for. But these are Taliban control from July 10th, 2021. This is this because it looks a lot like Arkansas's COVID cases. I just think it's we've hit 666 in the chat room. You know what time that is? Time for $6.66 super chats if you feel like it, if you're so moved. Also, like and subscribe, thumbs up. And don't forget, trolls, we appreciate you being here, especially on Facebook, because you help us spread further than the regular viewers ever could. Because just by watching, you bump us up in the algorithm. And then once you start typing or give us a thumbs down or some sort of a negative, little graphic, you throw an emoji or a GIF in there, that actually helps even more because, see, Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and all these things, they don't care if you like the show, just if it motivates you to stay watching and start typing. Anything you type actually benefits the show. So, I mean, obviously, if you're a bigot and you start using racial epithets and stuff like that, we're gonna kick you to the curb and stuff. But anybody else, if you just call me names or whatever, it's totally cool because, like I said, it boosts us. So, thank you again. I can't thank you enough, really. I mean, we've gained, I think, 2,000 viewers in the last week and a half just because on subscribers on YouTube. Just because of the trolls. So thank you very much. Yeah, trolls, don't forget to give a thumbs down. Please give us a thumbs down or whatever. Ratio it or whatever your Reddit thread says is mean.
Colonel State Department cable in July.
Seriously, I think in maybe 8 more years, someone will start to give a shit about what you think. I wouldn't count on it. I would get a day job. But hang in there. Maybe that trolling money will come back.
I actually warned of Kabul's imminent collapse.
July memo shows that administration measures caution about Taliban's quick advance. Yeah, that's why they sped things up and why we continued our commitment to get the fuck out. So what does that mean, Sean? We stay longer? Intel, literally, the honest intel was like, yeah, Trump signed a deal with the Taliban last year, so May 2nd, they were going to start marching across this fucking place. They didn't give a fuck anymore. And the Afghan government was cut out, and the Afghan forces weren't going to fight back. So we can stick around and watch our people die if you want, or we can pack everybody up and get the fuck out. It's going to be noisy, but we got to go. I mean, why is Sean Hannity confused by adult decisions?
Joe did nothing, and now we're experiencing.
Well, obviously he did something. We've like evacuated like 17,000 people.
What is the single worst foreign policy crisis and debacle ever. The lives of thousands of Americans are literally in the hands of evil terrorists.
Evil terrorists? That's a hell of a way to talk about people that Trump had a meeting with just last year and didn't talk to the Afghan government. Let's see. Trump, peace deal with Taliban. Spoke to him on the phone, actually. Talked to him regularly. There you go. There you go. So, the evil terrorists, right? They're evil terrorists. Evil. Evil. So as to say evil. Hold on one second. Obviously.
Dr. Evil.
Not quite. I wouldn't give them, I don't think any of them have gotten through school. As criticism of the chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal continues to build, President Biden has argued the effectively little choice in the matter. Deal with President Trump cut with the Taliban last year. Oh, look, there's a hyperlink. Let's check it out. Was Biden handcuffed by Trump's Taliban deal in Doha? 18 months later, let's see. Optimistically proclaimed, we think we'll be successful in the end. This was Trump when he signed a peace deal with the Taliban in February of 2020. You know, when we had 14 cases and it was just going to go to 0 of COVID. Remember that too? There was, I mean, he was just hit after hit after hit. February, March, I mean, that is peak Trump. 14 cases, one lady's she's got the sniffles, she'll be fine. Turns out to be a guy and he died. And those 14 cases led to the deaths of over 500,000 Americans just while he was president, much less the residuals that are caused by the fact that even though his followers would crawl through broken glass to give him a rusty trombone, none of them will take his vaccine because they don't trust it, because they obviously know he's a shoddy businessman and a shitty deal maker, and it concerns them when it comes to injections, I guess. I don't know. But please tell us again how these are evil people.
Afghan partners, they have been abandoned and left for dead, and I can promise you those left behind will die. Gruesome deaths.
Gruesome deaths, you promise? I mean, you know these guys better than I do. I mean, you've never been there, but obviously you talk regularly.
Allies rightly no longer trust us. Our enemies are
our allies don't trust us? Then why are they using our planes to get out of Afghanistan?
Emboldened, billions of dollars in U.S. weapons. They didn't have a plan to remove them or at least destroy them. You know.
Yeah, these are the Afghan weapons. It won't matter after a while. They were going to have them anyways. And?
Night vision goggles.
None of those. Oh, night vision goggles.
Planes, helicopters.
Yeah, the planes and helicopters, they don't know how to fly and that have been sitting derelict apparently for quite some time because even the Afghan military weren't using them.
Up-armored vehicles, yeah, that you paid for. They're now in the hands of the Taliban. That makes them even stronger. And today, Joe Biden...
Yeah, good luck with that.
No public events again. Called the lid. I'm done at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, because he has meetings with the military stuff. He's actually discussing strategy. They're making decisions, that kind of stuff, actual president shit. Whereas your guy would have stood out there all day and blathered at the press how it wasn't his fault and then gone and done a rally.
No press briefing. I guess Jen Psaki's back on vacation because we didn't hear from her.
You didn't have to. He did his own press conference today.
Heard a word.
It's a serious thing, so you don't have to use the press agent to do that.
Kamala Harris in more than a week, and thousands of American lives.
She was at the press conference today, but this might be from last night, so you could be forgiven for being dumb.
Are at risk at this hour, and the Biden administration is completely, totally detached and out to lunch.
Completely, totally detached and out to lunch. Completely, totally detached. I mean, this is, hyperbole being what it is. It's spectacular. Completely and totally detached. And out to lunch. That's, I mean, how are they even getting the food in their mouth? That's what I want to know. Let's see. Biden update on Afghanistan. We'll just see if I just want to see if they're completely and totally out to lunch. I just want to check that real quick, if I may. Well, I mean, I don't know if he eats lunch at the podium. I mean, maybe so. I mean, I've been known to eat tuna fish standing over the sink, like any single guy, at times in my life. We will get you home, Biden tells Americans in Kabul and vows to help Afghan allies. President Trump said, President Trump, listen to me. President Biden said on Friday that his administration, I'm reading all these articles from last year to rebut, and yeah. President Biden said on Friday that his administration is focused on getting Americans out of Afghanistan by August 31st, but that he was also committed to trying to evacuate as many Afghan interpreters and others who assisted the U.S. government, a goal that he said is equally important almost to evacuating Americans. Taking reporters' questions for the first time since August 10th, Biden said that he believed that the U.S. could accomplish its mission of evacuating Americans and others by an August 31st deadline, but that we're going to make the judgments as we go. He also said the U.S. government did not have any solid tally of how many Americans were still in country. Any American who wants to come home, we will get you home. That doesn't seem very detached. Hold on, perhaps it's the small text and I'm not reading it very well. Let's see, I'm going to blow this up. There you go. Any American who wants to come home, we will get you home. Biden made his remarks from the White House East Room. I don't think that's at Camp David, but I don't have a new map. His third public comments this week on the chaos in Afghanistan. Wait a minute. I thought he was detached. Third public comments this week. I thought he was on vacation. Biden said he's been in touch with the United States global allies to facilitate the safe removal of American citizens, Afghan special immigrant visa applicants, interpreters, and other allies from fallen capital city. He said that he's had conversations with UK's Boris Johnson, Germany's Angela Merkel, and France's Emmanuel Macron, and that the group had decided to convene a summit next week in the group of 7 leading industrial nations. Since I spoke to you on Monday, we've made significant progress, Biden said. The president said that as of Friday afternoon, there were some 6,000 American troops on the ground to aid the evacuation effort, and the troops were rapidly moving American assets to safety, including the evacuation of 5,700 people in the last 24 hours. He said 13,000 people have been evacuated since Saturday. Biden said his administration has also been working with several U.S.-based news organizations to ensure the safe evacuation of 204 of their American employees. The United States stands by its commitment that we made to these people, he said. On Monday, Biden defended his decision to withdraw troops. In an interview, that's the other one from Stephanopoulos. Still, the scene around Kabul's airport remains chaotic and dangerous, despite the thousands of U.S. troops deployed to secure it, and many people trying to flee the country are simply unable to make it to the tarmac to be evacuated. Jarring video taken on the ground show hordes of people seeking to make it inside the airport. By the way, I appreciate that these folks are trying to leave, but these are Afghan citizens who want to leave. These aren't the families of interpreters and the like. Those people are connected with the State Department and their military personnel. And they're on a different side of the entire airport, by the way. But a lot of these folks are on the civilian side, which the Taliban has secured, and commercial and private charter flights are moving again. And then the graphic footage, they're taking hold of the plane's wings. No, the wheels, by the way, plummeting to their deaths. They were not clinging to the wings. I don't know what that is. But anyways, but detached, right. He's leaving. I mean, obviously he had to have been somewhere to leave. I mean, one of the things that Sean seems to be confused about is the fact that if you show Biden walking away, that means he was just somewhere doing something.
This is by every definition a dereliction of duty.
No, it's not. I mean, every definition would require him to just never show up. You know, or never get us out of Afghanistan, or never even try, which is what Trump did. Apparently that didn't bother you, though.
If Joe Biden is not up for this job, now
He is. He obviously is. He obviously is, because he's making this tough decision and going through this horrible, chaotic situation, which was inevitable by a lot of people's determination, and he had the guts to do it when your guy didn't. He had 4 years. 4 fucking years. 4 years. What was different in Afghanistan last year? or the year before that, or the year before that, or 16 days after Trump took the oath? What? Anybody? What was different? What was the big deal? On the ground, materially, where was the Afghan government and the Afghan forces? How were they better this year than last year or the year before? How? Right? During the Trump administration, what was different? What was different in Afghanistan that we couldn't leave? I'm waiting. I mean, I know there's a couple of trolls in here who want to say something. They just can't. It must be very frustrating. What is it? What was different? The deal he struck and the leader of the Taliban that Trump got out of jail? That was different? Well, he could have done that the year before, or the year before, or the year before that, right? What was different?
About it, we've kidded about it, we've shown you the video, and then we stop laughing about it because it's...
No, you don't. You go back to making you keep saying it's not funny anymore because it never was funny, and then you get kind of like, you go back to it. Maybe it is funny. I don't know. What is funny? Your face is funny, Sean.
Funny, because seeing a Joe Biden...
Seeing a Joe, just an average Joe Biden. Seeing a Joe? All right.
Weak and frail and a cognitive mess...
Who still got us out of Afghanistan. That's weird. So Trump is supposedly the Ubermensch, the superior man, the made of all the best stuff in the whole world, is obviously has the greatest genes of any man. And yet he couldn't get us out of Afghanistan. And yet this doddering old fool who can barely put a sentence together has managed to get us the fuck out of Afghanistan. Right? Doing.
Is not good for the United States.
What's good? Staying in forever? How much longer, Sean? How much longer are we staying?
It's not good for our fellow citizens, those trapped behind enemy lines tonight.
That's the line. Trapped behind enemy lines.
And it's not good for the world either.
No, it's terrible for the world. It's terrible for the world. And by world, he means MAGA.
If he doesn't care about the lives of Americans abroad, if he's not up to this job, he needs to either step down or
right,
be...
That's the other thing. They're going to say resign or he should be impeached.
Removed.
Right. That's the other talking point that's been floating around. There's like this weird memo that all the right-wing talkers get at the same time.
Just wants to live out his remaining days on a beach in Delaware. I'm fine with that.
There are beaches in Delaware? I mean, I know there's oceanfront, but really a beach? Seems a little chilly. I don't know.
Step down, let someone more capable...
Like who? The guys who didn't do it when they had a chance, Sean?
...over. Someone that may have a sense of urgency.
Oh, like DeSantis, for example. No. He's presiding over the highest spike of deaths in Florida in the pandemic so far. And, of course, more people have died in Florida's COVID outbreak than were the margin of victory for him in his election. So that's not... I don't know who else. Greg Abbott, who... Oh, apparently that won't work.
About how...
President of Mexico? Even if we made him president of the United States, I still don't think he's going to pay for the wall. I don't see it happening.
Dire this situation is, and the amount of potential power and leverage that he has now single-handedly given a terrorist organization, and God forbid what I can think of in my mind, which
Yes, God forbid anything that Sean Hannity thinks of in his mind, because whatever it is, it's gross.
Will not express they could do to the Americans held behind enemy lines. We pray for those Americans, every one of them. We want...
Oh, yeah? You pray for them? You do? And by the way, this is a beautiful picture, and thanks to the service person who covered this sleeping child with their jacket as they were flown off. That is, by the way, the metal right there that you're seeing. That's the floor of an airplane, of an American airplane that they're leaving. Apparently, just staying there forever, that didn't scare you at all.
Them home safely.
Yeah, that's the goal. If you want to leave, we'll get you out. That's what Biden said.
Trapped in Afghanistan. We pray for our...
Trapped in Afghanistan. Like the last 20 years?
friends. We pray for our allies who have been abandoned.
But you don't pray for the president of your own country? That didn't occur to you? Sean, are you going to say that? Are you going to say, and we pray for our president, hoping that he makes better decisions, or whatever you think could possibly happen? Or is prayer just a virtue signal, to use a phrase that you know well, that you do?
And pray also that as many lives as possible, hopefully, prayerfully, every life will be saved before it's too late.
Hopefully, prayerfully, every life will be saved before it's too late. So if it's after it's too late, if you're dead, it's your ass. What?
If it does work out that way, it will be a miracle, a modern-day miracle, but it won't be because of anything Joe Biden did. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
It will be precisely. Hannity's OnlyFans is $14.99 a month. No, I think he's off there because they took hardcore stuff off. So that's the whole thing. That's the Americans stranded in Afghanistan as Biden plans another long weekend. Which, by the way, let's see. This was last night. So this is before the president's remarks today, and so you have to weigh that against how ignorant and silly they are. But this is what he's been testing. The Hannity one you will hear probably over the weekend more from his Twitter feed, and possibly Monday before the whole talking point dies by next Wednesday. A bunch of behind enemy line stuff. Yeah.